obviously it was very stressful for me removing 43 years of contents from my house. He explained everything in absolute detail. It was my first experience. Quite scary at my age, I must be honest.
Hi Anne, thank you for joining us today to just give us a bit of feedback with regards to your journey with Springbok. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Very good, very good. So I'd say just a nice chat for us to obviously get an idea of your thoughts from the start of the process with Springbok all the way through to the completion and where that has left you. Okay?
Yeah.
So just start, can you just give me a bit of a rundown of where you're from and what it is that you do for a living currently?
I'm retired, a widow. I'm from Vange, Basildon, Essex, or I was. I'm not now.
Okay. And then the property that you were selling at the time in Basildon, what was it that you were selling? What property was it? Was it a family home? Was it somewhere you'd been for a while?
I'd been there 43 years. It was my family home. It was a 3-bedroom mid-terraced, far too big for me and my dog.
Okay. So yeah, 43 years is a long time. So lots of memories, and obviously something where you've not necessarily been in the process of selling properties or buying them in that meantime. So was it quite a new experience for you?
It was my first experience. Quite scary at my age, I must be honest. But having joined up with Springbok, I found everything a breeze. I really did. Yeah.
So, as you said, using Springbok was then a bit of a breeze for you. How was it that you heard of us first time? Where did you come across us?
I'd seen the advert on social media along with quite a few others. Very apprehensive to start with about any of them. Had a chat with a family member who said to me, you really need to check some of these out. So I did. I whittled them down, and Springbok kept favouring me and coming to the top of my list. So I've done a lot of inquiries, checked you guys out, read lots of reviews, which after reading them, listening to them, made me decide to join up with Springbok.
So yeah, I think you spoke to Amy originally with a phone call, which is something you would use to work out, and then you sat down with Dan Allen, who is one of our property managers, evaluators here. And I take it he's talked you through the process step by step, and you've sort of got a bit of confidence from that. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. He explained everything in absolute detail and assured me that whatever the figure was, that I would be walking away with that figure. And I did.
So the assurances and the clarity behind sort of that initial conversation is obviously just sort of, I say, after 43 years and the first time, sort of settled them nerves and thought, right, this is going to be a place for me.
Definitely, yeah.
And obviously one of the big points of selling a house is actually once you're then on the market, and it was Joanne, wasn't it, who you then started dealing with primarily. How do you feel that went with Joanne? Was it all explained well, nice fluid process?
Absolutely amazing. I can't fault anyone that I've dealt with at Springbok from the initial start to the ending. Joanne was amazing. Step-by-step guide, explained absolutely everything. If I wasn't sure on anything, she always encouraged me to pick the phone up and ask. And it was the same with everybody after as well. Amazing.
Yeah, so you'd say that personal touch from Springbok in being able to pick up the phone, speak to someone directly who you're in contact with all the way through the process, sort of on the set, is a big factor, and that sort of helps rather than bouncing around 3 or 4 different people while you've got the property on the market. Knowing Joanne was always there was a big thing. Yeah, and then obviously through the progression, obviously I know you've got to the end. You said everyone was faultless. Were there any points in the process that you can remember and think, I can remember that coming up where it worried me, but we were calmed and professional, that it was dealt with accordingly.
I'll be open and honest with you. There was nothing that gave me any concern whatsoever. Nothing ever made me think, oh my goodness, I'm not doing the right thing here. I'm with the wrong company. No, absolutely amazing. I can't sing your praises enough. I really can't.
Good. It's really, really good to hear. And I take it then, if someone you know as whether it was a family member or a friend was also considering selling a house, we'd be on the list as a recommendation, I believe.
Without a doubt. I have a sister who is in the process of selling a property, and I think she could be coming on board with you as well.
There you go. They're saying, obviously, the fact that previous clients obviously feel that way, that's why we do this at the end of the day. We want to help you get from A to B. And obviously, once we did then complete, what did that mean to you after obviously getting your house sold? Obviously, where did you find yourself afterwards?
A lot of stress and weight lifted. Obviously, it was very stressful for me removing 43 years of contents from my house. I'm a widow. That was the most stressful part, but obviously nothing to do with Springbok. But with help from friends, etc., we jollied along, got it done. But the encouragement from Springbok all the way through was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Brilliant. Well, look, at the end of the day, I think the kind words you've said there, that's sort of why we're here and why we do what we do. Obviously, I'm really glad that through the process, I say from Amy to Dan to Joe and even Abby at the end. Obviously, specialise, and you've not got any complaints with that. Everyone seems to have helped you. You've obviously now moved on to the next part of your life, which I take it is something due to the fact you've sold the house nice and quickly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the time scale, I was never in a rush to sell it. I made that quite clear when I joined. So I wasn't pressurised at all. Everything went at my speed. Yeah. Really, really, you kept me informed. To be quite honest, because of all the information I got from each and every one of you, there was never any one time that I had to pick the phone up to raise a query or ask a question, because you explained everything as clear as you possibly could.
Perfect. Well, I think at the end of the day, it's really good to hear your story. Obviously, people will be in a similar situation and will obviously have those apprehensions with sale, or it's a new thing, and if they can see this and realise that this is what is beneficial, then it's really kind words, and we do appreciate them. Is there anything that you would like to say, sort of finally, to to anyone else who is now watching the video and to say, look, I think I might use Springbok? Anything as a final phrase?
Do you know, I could go on and on about you, to be quite honest, but if you've tried the rest, go for the best. Springbok all day long.
Perfect. Well, look, congratulations on the sale again. Thank you for sharing your process with us and experience, and I hope everything is all good for you moving forward as well.
I've never been happier, Dan.
Brilliant, Anne. Well, that means a lot coming from a previous client there.
Yeah, I've never been happier. Yeah.
Good. Brilliant. Well, look, you take care, and we'll see. I'm sure if we may well.
And my kindest regards to everyone who helped me through that journey. I really appreciate it.
I'll make sure it's all passed on to them. I'm sure they really appreciate the words as well.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you. Bye.